Hello, YouTube family. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. If I look windswept, it's very windy on the East Coast, like very windy. Whew, on the East Coast. So if I look windswept, I was trying to like hold it together and I was like, dang, it's windy outside. Woo! Welcome to a Friday. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. I go by the nickname Ginger. We start with a hug because you never know who needs a hug. So come on. Today, it is short and sweet. There will be a weekend edition. Pictures, fancy, you name it. There it is. So there will be a weekend edition coming up. It's not cute not knowing, and I think we know why. Rapper Shock G from Digital Underground passed. We lost him last week. He headed up the group. He was so instrumental in starting Tupac's career. He had that character, Humpty Hump, and the Humpty Dance, kind of like marched into the 90s with Do What You Like, I Get Around. They had these songs. Well, he passed away. Funeral is tomorrow in Tampa, Florida, and they're saying that he died of a massive heart attack. We have a health update on Biz Markie. The rapper had slid into a diabetic coma. Then he had a stroke while he was in the coma. He was pretty messed up for a while, but we got some good news via Big Daddy Kane, who did an interview on The Breakfast Club in New York. Biz Markie is in rehab, so he's kind of like come out of that. I'm sure he's got to do everything from the speech to the walk to the therapy. Biz, I'm a stroke survivor. Do everything they tell you to do, even if it seems mundane. Do it. Even if you're like, I don't do that. No, do it. Do it. Do it, because you want your life back and you want to have your movement back with your arms and your legs and everything and your speech. Good luck. But Biz Markie is in rehab. Candy Burris did an interview with Eddie Levert and his daughter. They do this Facebook show, and he was like, well, who's the best person to work with? Who was the worst? She said that Boyz II Men was the worst. Apparently, it came down to the songwriting responsibilities. Candy writes songs. Oh, she's known. She's a Grammy Award winner for the songs that she's written. You know, we just think of Housewives and the Sex Toys and stuff like that. It came down to the songwriting responsibilities, well, Candy was getting more money than them. So an argument ensued. Wanye was like, this is what really happened. It was money, songwriting. Candy was getting more money than them, and I guess they didn't like it. How many people are watching Michael B. Jordan this weekend? Without Remorse. It's an action thriller. Lauren London is in it. Coleman Domingo is in it. Jodie Turner-Smith is in it. Michael B. Jordan is literally fighting everybody in this movie, but it's streaming now on Amazon Prime. Lady Gaga, they caught the dog nappers. A few weeks ago, they shot the guy that walked the dogs and there were these English bulldogs. She put out like $500,000 if you know, the whereabouts of my dog. Well, the person that called in, told them you can find the dogs at. Why was that person one of the people involved in the dog napping? They thought they was going to be slick. Maybe they didn't know it was Lady Gaga, but when they heard that money, they was like, "Oh, we need to get some of that money." But it doesn't take long to do 1 and 1 is 2. They've all been arrested and charged with attempted murder because they shot that dog, the dog walker. If you're a fan of Young Rock, Dwayne Johnson's show about his younger life, it's been renewed for a new season. And Kenan Thompson's show, which is doing very well, Tuesday nights on NBC. Kenan has been renewed for season 2. They're saying that Prince Harry is regretting that interview with Oprah. You know, they made him feel guilty when he went home for his grandfather's funeral. And it probably, you're in a rock and a hard place. Your father, your wife, what do? His family is very different because they are the royal family. So I'm sure there was some guilt. Like, why would you do that? Why would you put us on blast? And this week, Prince William and his wife, they're winning the PR war with their 10th anniversary and showing those kids, and it's a mess. I hope that Prince Harry can find some happiness. He's got to go back to London in June for the big, they're marking the anniversary of Princess Di's death, and they're having this big ceremony where they will be together again. But they said that he is embarrassed and he regrets doing the interview with Oprah. Hope he can find some happiness. Amongst things that I do, I'm a podcaster and I do a podcast, Patty and the Millennials. I had a chance to talk to the executive director of Women Organized Against Rape. Sex trafficking, sexual assault, sexual harassment, they deal with it. Men, women, trans, they deal with it. And it is still a major problem in this country. Getting people to open up to admit, because people will shame you and people will feel ashamed. They'll feel it's my fault if it was a date rape. No means no. No means no in any circumstances. And under no circumstances should anyone make you feel guilty because you're saying no, or make you feel guilty because you got caught up in something and that other person did not respect your boundaries. It was a conversation. It was very open. And I thank you, Monique, because I think more people just need to be aware of there is someone that you can talk to if you don't feel safe in a relationship, in a situation. When our kids go off to school, we got to talk to them. We got to talk to them. With the drinking and assault happens, a lot of women. But they say, well, I was drunk. I had too much. No means no. And no one should assault you, because that sexual trauma stays with you for the rest of your life. And it affects things that you do and relationships. So thank you. That podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, and SoundCloud. It's real simple. We sound like a singing group, Patty and the Millennials. And then there's 2 new ones. And then there was another one. It's called Life Questions. And I was reading that, how do you get to know somebody? Life questions such as, is a hot dog a sandwich? Think about it. How long can you go without your cell phone? A lot of people can't. After about half hour, 45 minutes, they start. But I read that. They said that if you really want to get to know somebody, just ask them like key questions and how would they respond. And they had no idea what I was going to ask them, because they were millennials, Gen X, men and women. And I just hit them. I was like, if you had a chance to teach or mentor a younger person, what would you teach them? What would you tell them? How would you handle that? About finances. And this ain't got nothing to do with being broke or poor. Do you consider people who mismanage their money? Now we hear about a lot of athletes, rich people. It's like, what you do with your money? And it's gone. Remember MC Hammer? Are they considered dumb because they don't know how to handle their money? I wish that financial courses were taught in high school to teach people when they're young what to do when you get that first credit card and you can't go running crazy with it. Just how to handle finances, because a lot of people don't know. I do. This pandemic taught me real quick, because I ain't got a lot of concerts and stuff to go to or to host. So I had to learn how to rein it in with things and having a kid off at college. So it was a funny conversation, but they said if you ever want to get to know somebody, hit them with life questions. Check us out, the podcast, Patty and the Millennials. I hope that you all have a great weekend. I know it's short and it's sweet. I was like, should I do it today? But I just like to check in with you guys and let you know what's going on. But there is a weekend edition, and it's fancy. It is. It's fancy, and LaShawn Simon, she puts it together. And it's really nice. Some great things are coming up. Questlove, his Summer of Soul documentary. You've got actor Lakeith Stanfield and the new anime. It's a lot. So check it out. Hit the notification button so you know when the video comes down. You can give us a thumbs up. People are like, why are people not liking you? And I said, I had to snatch up some races. Let me tell you this quick story. I always know when it's new people because the channel is growing. And people want to say things. I don't do these keyboard gangsters. I say, no. Let me tell you what we're going to do. You can agree with me on the story. We can agree to disagree. But what you ain't going to do is call me out my name or call me some racial thing. So I've had to snatch up some people. So they probably just come here for the hell of it just to say, y'all know how it is. Sometimes in life, you got to snatch up people. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the content. Have a great weekend. Leave a comment. Auntie is going through them this weekend. This was a busy week at work, but I'm going through them. Thanks so much for joining me. I do appreciate you.